The good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Always and forever, another exciting day in Joe Boreal's kitchen. Guys, we're gonna make something really fun and really simple, and it's something that my father and mother would often do, my grandmother would often do, to flavor olive oil, just to kick it up with some flavor. So we're gonna kick it with some Cooking Italian with Joe flavor. I've got 1953 Sinatra's album plan, so infused olive oil always comes out great with Frank plan. Okay, so let's get cooking. What are you gonna need to make infused olive oil? First, you're gonna want an herb. Now you can use really anything, thyme is great, basil is great, oregano is great. Today we're gonna use rosemary. I mean, there's such a unique, it's a deliciousness of rosemary. It's grassy and it's fruity and it's almost floral. It's just got such a depth of aroma. Just absolutely delicious. So we're gonna use rosemary to make some infused olive oil. And I'll tell you, you can use this for so many different things. So I've got here about 8 to 10 sprigs. And when I say sprig, about that long, okay? About 4 inches, maybe 4.5 inches of rosemary. So that's all you're gonna need. You're just gonna need about 8 to 10 sprigs of rosemary, fresh. And next you're gonna want some olive oil, and you're gonna want high quality, and you're gonna want extra virgin olive oil. So certainly not the only olive oil on the planet, but definitely some of the best olive oil on the planet, and that's Vito and Joe. So for anybody new to our channel, we own a farm in Italy, right in Puglia, Italy. A lot of people ask me that. It's right above the heel. There's a little bump that comes out, a little village. It's called Vico del Gargano. And we have a farm out there. We got a lot of land now. We've got a whole bunch of trees. We co-op with a whole group of farms now to bring you some of the best olive oil in the world. And our olive oil it's grassy, it's earthy, it's peppery, it's got a really good flavor, really good punch to it. And I named the company after my two boys, Joey and Vito. So you can go right on our Facebook page. You can go in the description link here above the video or below the video. You can go right on our webpage, Cooking Italian with Joe. Just click the link. We'll actually drop ship you a bottle right to your front doorstep. And I always call it a trip to Italy right now. Now, in quantity of olive oil in this little batch we're making, we're gonna make a batch of 3 cups of extra virgin olive oil. This whole process, it's actually called blooming. And what you're doing is, rather than waiting for weeks or months for the herb to give up its oil, we're gonna heat up the herb in the oil. We don't wanna fry it, we're not gonna cook it, we're gonna warm it. And what it does is it starts to create those oils within this, in this case, our rosemary. They start to be released from the herb, and then they'll marry with the olive oil itself. So it just gives you a beautiful flavor. And the whole process literally takes a few minutes. Okay, guys, let's start having some fun. A couple of important tips to get this going and to make it perfect. You know what I mean? Like, molto deleccio, perfecto, okay? So we're gonna want a pan. Now, I always like something a little higher on the side, prevents that splatter. So I've got a medium-sized saucepan. And then obviously going to measure out, this is 1.5 cups, so 3 cups of our olive oil. I got my olive oil ready to go, Vito and Joe's obviously. I've got my rosemary sprigs, absolutely delicious. And then I always like to use a candy thermometer. It doesn't have to be this type of thermometer, but we're going to shoot for around 170, no more than 190 degrees in temperature. So about 180 is going to be ideal, and that's going to ensure that we're extracting as much of the rosemary oil out of the rosemary, but we don't want to cook it, like I said, or fry it. And that's going to be really important. A couple of important tips that makes this come out really good. There's a red button right down here, kind of matches my towel. If you click it, guess what? You subscribe to our channel, and that's great. So any new trips I've got coming up, any new recipes, we got a blog, Blogging with Boreal. It'll come right to your notification box. And like I say always, it always means a lot to me when you subscribe to our channel. And hey, makes you part of the family. You know what I'm saying? And last tip, I probably don't even need it. You probably already got yourself a bottle of olive oil. Okay. All right, so let's get going. So number one, I want to get about 3 cups of olive oil in my pan. My olive oil is set. I'm going to take my candy thermometer. I'm going to get that set. And then just make a mental note of what you're shooting for. So my 180 is going to be right there, okay? And then I'm going to take my sprigs of rosemary. So I got 8.5, I guess, we'll pop in there. In regards to the heat, like I said, I'm just going to put it on low, and that's all I'm going to do. So now I'm going to take a spoon, just get all my rosemary fully submerged in the oil. And I'm just gonna wait till my temp comes up, and then we're gonna keep it there about 5 minutes. Okay guys, it's been about 3 or 4 minutes. You see how it's a little bit too warm? So real simple, all you gotta do is when it gets a little hot, just pull it off the burner or just set it right over on the counter for a moment just to bring your temp down. Guys, we're right at around 5 or 6 minutes here. I'm just gonna shut the heat off and I'm just gonna let it set here for a few more minutes, let it come down on its own on temperature. I'll tell you, the aroma in here, like I said, is just fantastic. So everything came out perfect. And guys, you're gonna see the color of the olive oil is a little deeper in green. The aroma is perfect. And I've got this beautiful, if you will, almost cooked rosemary that's residual in the oil. So we're gonna wanna get that out. We're gonna wanna use a fresh sprig when we bottle it. Now it really comes down to how do you wanna store your olive oil. So you can use like an old olive oil container. So I always tell you to keep your bottles, so after you finish up a bottle of Vito and Joe's, you know, you can use that for great storage. In this case, what I did, I took a couple of reused Prosecco corks like I talked about. I'm gonna pull those out. And then what I'm gonna use is a funnel. Now this funnel's got a strainer in it, so it's just the perfect funnel, and it's actually designed for olive oil, and it's designed for this purpose. So I'm just gonna take the funnel, pop it in there, and I'm gonna strain out. Now I don't wanna use the old rosemary, I wanna put a nice fresh sprig in there. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a fresh sprig of rosemary, and I'm gonna pop it right in the bottle. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my olive oil, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pour it right in. So how gorgeous is that? And guys, once we're filled up and ready to go, we're gonna take that recycled cork and just put it in the top, and then just give it a push. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna grab some tags. Now, these are gonna be gifts. A lot of times I'll store them with different herbs because they got different flavors, right? And then just put them right around the neck of your olive oil, and you're good to go. I like to just use a little old twine, give it a little, you know, that old, kind of old Italy feel, if you will. And what I love about this is, you know, you can go buy olive oil that's flavored, and that's great. But I'll tell you, when you do it yourself, it just has that extra special meaning, and it's fun. How fantastic is that? And literally, how long does that take? A few minutes? And now it's one of my favorite parts, right? So you gotta open this guy up. And what's great when you open this up, oh, smell the cork like wine. In this case, you're smelling that olive oil. Oh, I mean, immediately you get that grassy, earthy feel of the rosemary, right? I'm just gonna steal a little bit out of my friend's stash. She won't even know, right? They won't know that. You gotta taste it. I mean, let's be honest, you gotta taste it. So I'm just gonna use a little, just a dab. It immediately hits you, with the flavor of the rosemary. You know, you get that grassy, earthy, like I said, it's almost floral, and that aroma, and then you're getting that, because you're using a good quality olive oil, in this case, a great quality olive oil, you're just getting that beautiful, delicious flavor. Boy, I'll tell you, and that goes good on anything. It just goes great on anything. And then I'm gonna seal it up. They won't even know I was in there, you know what I mean? What a great and simple recipe to make some infused flavors in your house. And what's great with this is don't limit it to rosemary. Go crazy, do anything you want. Mix different flavors. I love the Italian herb one, that's a great one. Guys, thanks for joining me and having so much fun in the kitchen today. Remember, hit that big red button, matches the color of my towel. Subscribe to our channel. Hey, makes you part of the Boreal family. And remember, hit our Facebook page, our web page, or the link right here above or below on YouTube, and buy yourself a bottle of Vito and Joe's olive oil. Love to drop ship it right to your front doorstep. We call it a trip to Italy right in a bottle. And one of my most important messages, guys, you know, once a week, shut off the TV, the cell phone, the computers, everybody get in the kitchen, put all your cell technology in a basket, get around the table with your parents or your grandparents, if they're still with you, God bless you, and you know, make a mess and tell some stories and set some traditions and celebrate your heritage. I'll tell you, set traditions will last your lifetime. I know they did for me. Hey guys, from my kitchen to yours, until next week, mwah, buon appetito.
Seems to be the ideal.